Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Recycle Smart Massachusetts Update webinar. My name is Kathy Dudnoth. I'm an environmental analyst with the Municipal Waste Reduction Branch at MassDEP, and I'm part of the team that runs the Recycle Smart MA program. I'm joined today by my other Recycle Smart colleagues, Janice Pare and Leah Kelleher, and we're all excited to take this time to go through all things Recycle Smart and talk about how you can use our resources for your own outreach and education programs. Here's the agenda for today. I am going to start off by giving a background on Recycle Smart, and then I'm going to go over the program elements that include social media, digital ads, and website metrics. Then I'm going to touch on what's new to Recycle Smart this year before starting a deep dive of our website resources by going through our website directly. After that, we'll have time for a Q&A. And during the presentation, we have a few polls set up to get some more info from you, so stay tuned for those. So Recycle Smart is an education and outreach program focused on what can and cannot be recycled in Massachusetts, and we launched in 2018. Prior to this time, there was a different set of recycling rules in many cities and towns, which was causing some confusion for residents, and this led to a lot of wish cycling, which led to high contamination as a result. Around the same time was the China National Sword, in which China, who had been taking our recyclables, banned recyclables that were contaminated. And so there was a need to foster cleaner recycling right in state in Massachusetts. With these issues in mind, the team at MassDEP got together with MRF operators and went through a list of items and got the answer for each. Can this be recycled? Yes or no? And from that, Recycle Smart was born. We launched with a Smart Recycling Guide, which is a one-page document with the top yes and the top no items for the recycling with pictures of each. And we had the Recyclopedia, a tool where you can type in an item and see whether it could be recycled or not. We also launched with a partner page that showcased cities, towns, nonprofits, businesses, and schools that were sharing our message. Since then, our program has grown a lot. Up on screen are the main resources that we have available on the website now. We've developed these tools to help answer questions that we've gotten and provide clarity about recycling in Massachusetts. And at the same time, we tried to make it interesting and easily digestible for the public. While we launched with the Smart Recycling Guide in English only, we now have it available in 12 languages. We developed quizzes that test recycling knowledge in a fun way. We have newsletters that go out every other month that discuss a specific topic within waste reduction. We have tools that residents can use to learn more about the recycling process in our Where Does It Go page. And we have a search directory called Beyond the Bin that helps residents find outlets for items that are too good to trash. We also have digital and print resources up on the website. I will be taking a much closer look at these resources a little later when I go to the website, but for now, I just wanted to share this to show how much our program has grown since 2018. Now I want to talk a bit about the elements of Recycle Smart that have been crucial to our success. One of the important elements is our main method of communication, which is social media. We have over 31,000 followers across Facebook, Instagram, and X. We post 3 to 4 times a week, and these organic social posts are developed by the Recycle Smart team. So myself, Janice, and Leah, and ERG, which are our consultants. Social media is an impactful method of communication because more and more people are getting their news directly from social media. And we feel that this direct communication with our followers can create trust and transparency around recycling. Creating graphics and coming up with ideas for social allows us to find new ways of talking about recycling in the state. We try to focus on the visuals, and you can see that in these 2 graphics that are on the slide. We always try to include a picture of the item to make it easier for people to know what we mean when we say plastic air pillows or bubble mailers. And we try to keep the graphic concise and add more information in the caption. The image on the right is a great example of that, with a thumbs up for a reusable bag and a thumbs down for a single-use plastic bag. We also post about other waste reduction strategies like source reduction, reuse, and repair, so we're not just limited to recycling. Being creative while maintaining the tone of state agency can sometimes be challenging, but our team loves to create fun content that is clear, attention-grabbing, and this year, to do so, we started creating 2 reels each month on Instagram, which are short videos or slideshows, in an effort to meet the trending posts on Instagram and meet our followers where they are. The more engagement we get through views, comments, and shares, the more the platforms make our content visible with their algorithm, which is why we post continuously and we try to post topics of interest and take into account the seasons, events, or keywords that are trending. Social media is a great tool to reach your residents, whether it's a city or town Facebook page or Instagram or X, or a specific trash and recycling page. If you already have an account or you want to make one, you can follow Recycle Smart to reshare our content directly to your residents so they can keep up with all things waste reduction in Massachusetts. So now I'd like to launch our first poll question. So how often do you share Recycle Smart social media content or other resources? Oh, I love the weeklies. A couple times a month and 3 to 4 times a year. We're also excited to see because we love to see it. And for the nevers, we'd love to get you started on sharing our stuff. So you can let us know how we can help with that and try to get you to share our content because we work really hard to try to make it work for everybody in the state. 8% said weekly, 34% a couple times a month, 36% 3 to 4 times a year, and 22% never. So a good amount, a couple times a month and 3 to 4 times a year. It's understandable. We're hitting, maybe some seasonal posts, which is really great. The weeklies, top-notch job. Like I said, the nevers, we want to get you on board when we can. All right, so digital ads. This is another element of Recycle Smart that I wanted to talk about, and it's super important. So we are currently running ads on Google, Nextdoor, and Reddit. Running a digital ad on one of these platforms means that we set up a campaign for one of our resources. We added graphics, captions, headlines, links, and call to actions, and we gave it a set budget to start showing our stuff to the audience we want to target on that platform. The reason we like running digital ads is because of the extra reach it gives us. So organic social posts that I just spoke about on the slide before, those are seen mostly by our followers only. So it can be limited to the 31,000 that follow us. But by running digital ads, we can go past our followers and reach anyone in Massachusetts on those platforms in an effort to get our resources in front of those that may not always be thinking about recycling or even the environment. That's important because we want everyone to know that our website exists and that it can help people understand how to recycle right. Digital ads are also pretty cost effective, and we get the best bang for our buck advertising online through various platforms. We used to advertise on Meta, which includes Facebook and Instagram. We recently had to stop due to an issue with our ad account, and unfortunately, because of that, our numbers for web page views, likes, comments, and shares are a lot lower than what we're used to. So less people are getting to our website. But it just shows that Meta is where a lot of people were spending time, and so we're hoping to get back on it soon. Now I want to run the next poll. All right, does your municipality have a social media ad account? And we're asking because we're curious to know, because we know how successful digital ads can be to reach people that you're not reaching already. Exciting to see the yes. Even if you don't use it, that means it's there and it's ready to be used, hopefully. So 40% around that is saying yes, and we use it, which is awesome. It's so important to get to those people that aren't already following you in whatever way you can. Yes, but we don't use it. We'd love to change your mind on that just because we know how successful it can really be to get the conversation going about recycling. No, totally fine, 38%. That's okay. But digital ads are where it's at. But anyway, we don't, but would love to learn more. Please, we are so excited. If you want to reach out to us, we can share our experiences and share some guidelines on how you can get started in doing that. So we can end that poll now. Okay, so moving on, I just wanted to talk briefly about our website metrics. These numbers are from September 2024, which is our most recent metrics report that we got. So total page views were 87,000. Now this is across the whole website. Page views can include repeat sessions and repeated page views. So it could very well be the same person clicking around on the website. But of that 87,000, the highest page views went to Beyond the Bin, which you can see it's 57,000 of the 87,000. And this is super exciting for us, not only because Beyond the Bin is a great tool with really good content, but we don't run any digital ad campaigns for this resource. So that means people are just finding it and using it, which is it's really exciting. It's awesome to see. We have just over 14,000 newsletter subscribers, and our open rate for our newsletters that go out every other month is on average between 45 and 50%, which is really good. We have 331 partners. That includes cities, towns, businesses, nonprofits, and schools. And in September 2024, we had 30,000 Recyclopedia users using the Recyclopedia tool, which again could be the same person searching for something multiple times, but that's a lot of uses in just 1 month. So what was new for Recycle Smart this year? Well, first, we updated our Smart Recycling Guide. We added more translations of it, so now we have it in 12 languages, and we added a top no item that you'll see in a few minutes once I get to the website. Also this year, we partnered with influencers on Instagram for the first time. This was a really exciting and interesting process. We looked for influencers, so we looked for Instagram accounts that had a few thousand to tens of thousands of followers to try and partner with them. Our goal was to put out reels about Recycle Smart to a different audience, so their followers instead of ours. We worked with 2 influencers that created 1 reel each, along with Instagram stories. And both reels did really well in terms of views, likes, comments, and link clicks. The partnership led to us gaining over 250 Instagram followers, which is a huge growth for that platform. This was really cost effective for us, and so we're currently pursuing another partnership for a holiday waste related message. So make sure you follow us and stay tuned on our socials for that. This year, we also ran transit ads on 3 transit authority lines, the MBTA, the PVTA, the Pioneer Valley Transit Authority, and the Brockton Area Transit Authority. This was the first time we did transit ads, and we put up posters that looks like the image I have on the right, in both English and Spanish to point people towards our website. This outreach method was less cost effective than the influencers. It cost a lot of money. It did not give us a high return on page views like we hoped for, but we still think of it as a good learning opportunity for what to do next. We are currently in the process of a color refresh. So you may be seeing new colors like the blue on the top of the slide, and other new colors in our social media and in our website going forward. Our goal with this is to create more accessible content and also have a little more creativity because we'll have some more colors to use. So we are excited to get started and refresh our branding. And finally, we updated our frequently asked questions page to become our About Us page to make it clear who we are, what our goals are, and why it's important to recycle in Massachusetts. So back to this slide with our resources, I'm gonna click on the link and go to the website so we can take a closer look at what we have. Janice, can you give me a nod if you can see the website? Okay, cool. So welcome to the Recycle Smart website, which is recyclesmartma.org. I wanted to start the tour of the resources on the website with the Smart Recycling Guide. So I'm going to stay on this page, but on top, you can see the links for every web page that we have. So it's super easy when you come to the home site to just click around and find what you need. But on the Smart Recycling Guide, you can see 12 buttons for each of the guides that we have available. So like I said before, when we launched in 2018, we had the guide in English only. And one of the updates that we're excited about this year is that we now have it in 12 languages. So that includes English, Spanish, Portuguese, Simplified Chinese, Arabic, Vietnamese, French, Haitian Creole, Khmer, Hindi, Russian, and Italian. So when you come to this page, you can click on one of the buttons in whichever language you want to download, and it'll open up the guide. To tell which language is which, you can actually hover over the button, and on the bottom right, it comes up there. It'll say what language it is in English. So this one says Smart Recycling Guide Vietnamese, for example. So first, I'm going to click on the English, and I hope you can see the guide. It opened up. Okay. So the other update that we're excited about, let me zoom in, is that we added no hazardous items as a top no item. We heard from the MRFs that they're seeing a lot more hazardous materials and things with batteries, and so we thought it was important to add this as a top no going forward on this guide. The Smart Recycling Guide, in my opinion, is one of the best resources to share to your residents. It provides clear, straightforward information on what to recycle and what to keep out of the bin. It's easy for people to refer back to because of the pictures included, And so we try to simply say, if it's on the top line, recycle it and it'll be recycled into something new. If it's on the bottom row, you can throw it out or look into other collection opportunities. You can use the guide in whatever materials you have for your residents, whether it's a newsletter or on the letter or mailer you send at the beginning of the year with the trash and recycling calendar, or it's something you can have printed out and put at your transfer station or recycling center as a reminder for those that are dropping recyclables off. I want to take a moment now to explain how using the Smart Recycling Guide can help you get points in the Recycling Dividends program in our Sustainable Materials Recovery Grant Program. Under the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion section, you can use one of our translated guides to claim a few activities. One activity is to use a translated trash or recycling guide on your municipal website or in a mailer. So by downloading one of our translated guides and uploading it to your website, you can claim that activity. And I want to show an example really quickly of a website, a muni website that does this. So this is the town of Southampton and their transfer station page. And on the left, we can see the Smart Recycling Guides in the different languages. And I love the way they have it set up because it doesn't take away from the main content on the page. It's clear, it's not hidden on the page anywhere. And when you click it, it opens it up into a bigger version, which is great. You don't have to share multiple language to get this activity under DEI, multiple translated guides. It has to be at least one other than English, but we do encourage you to use as many as you need in order to reach the residents that speak different languages in your community. Oops. I'm just trying to get back to the guide. We'll just use this. Another DEI activity that you can use the guides for are the multilingual trash and recycling reminders for drop-off locations. So you can have one of the guides in a different language printed out and put it in noticeable locations at the drop-off to claim that. Another activity is for the multilingual trash and recycling guides distributed at schools. You could also use a translated Smart Recycling Guide for that. So moving on to the next page, I just wanted to show the recently updated About Us page very quickly. We really updated this, I think, last month, so it's really new. And you can see that we added sections for who we are and what we do in an effort to explain our mission to the public. And just below that is our frequently asked questions section that we had previously. The answers here have gotten some updates, so be sure to check it out. I think a lot of these answers could be helpful in answering questions that your residents may have too. So you can always refer back to the FAQ if you need to. Now I'm going to go over the partner page. So this page and the partner program is in the process of being revamped. We're going to try to beef up the partner program, so stay tuned in the future for updates about that. Right now, the page shows who our current partners are. So again, that's cities, towns, businesses, nonprofits, and schools that are doing work within waste reduction. Our goal for the partners is to highlight the work that they're doing in this space and also encourage them to use our resources to help them along the way. On this page, you can find the Recycle Smart partner list and check out if you're a partner. We right now have 163 cities and towns that are partners, so make sure you take a look and see if you're on the list. And if you're not and you want to sign up today, you can scroll right down and fill out some information and submit it to become a partner. So I don't know what you're waiting for, I'm just kidding, but sign up as a partner if you're not, because good things are coming. Our relationship with partners is a reciprocal one, so we want you to use our resources, but we also want to hear about what events you have going on and what accomplishments you've made within waste reduction. We love to share local stories in partner spotlights that go out with our newsletter, and we also do a social post on it. And if you're interested in what a partner spotlight looks like, you could click this button here and it takes you to a gallery where you can see all of the spotlights we've done over the last couple of years. So on to the next. The resources page is what I like to call the one-stop shop for content that you can use on your website, on your social media pages, and anywhere in your outreach and education programs. First up is the Recyclopedia widget. So the Recyclopedia tool that I talked about earlier is on almost every web page on Recycle Smart's website. And I'll take this chance to show very quickly what it looks like and how it works. So you type in an item, and I'm going to just go plastic bottle because it's easy. You select the item that comes up that matches what you're looking for. You click it and it opens up the answer for whether this item can be recycled or not. The page might have extra information or additional context just provided to help people get a well-rounded answer. The Recyclopedia now has over 800 items that are listed in it, and it gives answers for a lot of items that the public comes across in their daily lives. The resources page in the Recyclopedia section shows you that you can actually embed the Recyclopedia directly on your municipal webpage. So this would allow any residents that are visiting your site to get an answer from right there without having to do a random Google search for an answer. It makes it convenient for them, and convenience really matters when it comes to getting the public to recycle the right way. It'll also maybe cut down on the answers, on the questions you receive about recycling rules if the resident has the chance to search for the answer themselves. To embed the widget, you can send an email to us at recyclesmartma@mass.gov. Right now, just over 60 municipalities have the widget embedded. If you have your own paid widget or another waste wizard tool, that's fine. We just hope that the list is synced up with ours. So I'd like to pause here for another poll. Janice, please, and thank you. Have you synced up your acceptable items list with Recycle Smart MA? And this includes pizza boxes. So let's see. I love seeing the yes exclamation point. Makes me happy. Okay, it's staying, okay. We are hovering at 60-ish% for yes, 10% no, and 28% I don't know. So for the no's, what are you waiting for? We know that the MRFs know that our list is good. They endorsed our list, and we check in with them every so often to make sure things are still accurate. So please sync your list with ours if you have not already. Embedding the Recyclopedia widget is a really good way to do that because it's a copy of what we have on our website. So the 800 items would also be on your Recyclopedia on your website. I'm going to close that. Okay, so one more thing about the Recyclopedia before I go on. Like I said, just over 60 cities and towns have the tool embedded, but I wanted to share that embedding the widget can help you get recycling dividends points under the Waste Prevention, Outreach, and Education section. So you would have to do 3 things. You would have to embed the Recyclopedia to your municipal page, add a link to the main Recycle Smart website, and add a link to the specific Beyond the Bin webpage. And by doing so, you will claim an activity in this section of RDP. So just putting that out there. It's a good reason to put this on your website. All right, so next up on the resources page is our newsletter archive. So I'm going to click here. Our newsletters go out every other month. They feature in-depth information about various waste reduction topics. And so while we post about different topics not limited to just recycling on social media, the newsletter allows us to do a deeper dive and do some research on a topic and present it to our 14,000 subscribers in a fun and easily digestible way. Our newsletters are great sources of information to help you answer specific questions you may be getting or provide you with content for your own newsletters or social posts. What's cool on this page is the search function. So if you were looking for a specific topic like organics, for example, you could type that in the box, click search, and our organics newsletter would come up. And you can use the search to find any topic that you're interested in. We've covered things like cardboard recycling, the circular economy, holiday recycling, reuse, and more. I'm just gonna head back to the resources page. Okay. The next section is the social media section, and it features some of our popular social media posts, from clear messages about top no items like plastic bags and textiles to more fun posts like Joe Says No, to seasonal specific recycling information. You can download these graphics with a click of a button to use in your own communications. With social media, we like to be seasonal. So right now is a really great time to share something like this Thanksgiving specific post that explains what to do with items that you commonly use for the holiday. And the gift giving season is coming up pretty quickly, so why not share our Give the Gift of Recycling Smart post that shows what items to recycle, reuse, and trash. If you see something that we post on our social media that's not on this page, feel free to send us an email and we could send you the graphic to use, or you can always reshare directly from our page. While I'm on the topic of our social media post, I have a sneak peek of a new activity for the Recycling Dividends Program Waste Prevention Outreach and Education section for spring 2025. So if you are a Recycle Smart partner and you share at least 6 of our social posts on your municipal social media challenge, you can claim another activity under this section. So get to sharing at least 6, and a lot of them could be seasonal, and you would answer a lot of resident questions while also making sure you can claim that activity for RDP.
They have
And
to be a partner.
yes, you have to be a partner. Super easy to sign up on the Become a Partner page. Okay, so last thing on this webpage, we have print resources that you can use. So this includes materials for mailers, for recycling contamination programs, cart stickers, banners and signs, and example artwork for drop-offs. We know that each program is unique, so these materials are here as examples that you can use and work with a printer to customize to fit your community's needs. And now I'm going to go over to the quiz. So the Recycle Smart quizzes, one of my favorite resources. We have not one, but 2 quizzes that test the recycling knowledge of your residents. So quiz 1.0 is easy. Quiz 2.0 is slightly more challenging. The quizzes are great to share because they allow people to test what they think they know about recycling while getting good, accurate information about recycling in the state. We recommend sharing the quiz links in your social media posts and challenging your residents to get the highest scores they can. We've seen that on posts that we do about the quizzes, followers usually comment with their scores, either to brag or let us know that they learned something from a question they got wrong, which is exactly what we want to see. Ask them to challenge their friends and family to see who knows how to recycle smart. And because people love to be competitive, it can become a fun, entertaining way to learn about the recycling rules. If you haven't taken the quiz yet, please do. And if you want, you can let us know if quiz 2.0 is too easy and we can get started on quiz 3.0, the hardest one of them all, but we'll wait for what you think. Next up is the Where Does It Go page. So this page features 2 different tools that you can use to create more transparency around the recycling scene in Massachusetts. We sometimes get comments where people think recycling goes to the trash and that recycling is a lie. And the tools here were developed to show that that's not true. Up first is the recycling roadmap. So this is a clickable interactive tool. You can click on each circle of the map to see what happens at the different stages of the recycling process. This tool is important because it explains what happens after a resident puts their recycling out for collection or takes it to a drop-off. Often it's out of sight, out of mind when it comes to trash and recycling. But with this tool, we aim to showcase what happens after and give examples so they know it's real and it's important to recycle because it will go to a recycler and it can end up in new products. You can click through and see that we have explanations for each step. And my favorite part is the video that we recently added to the MRF section, which is our behind the scenes tour of a MRF. When we created this video, we wanted to show people that the recyclables do go somewhere that is not the trash and that they get sorted by both machines and people, which is one of the reasons why you should only put the right things in the bin to keep workers safe. If residents can't go on a real MRF tour, which we recommend, then sharing this video is the next best thing to improve transparency within the recycling process in Massachusetts. The next tool on this page is the interactive Where Does It Go map. This allows residents to click on their city or town and type in the zip code. Well, you can click on your city or town if you know what it looks like, or you can type in the zip code to see exactly where your city or town's recyclables go. So this was created in an effort to build more transparency and trust that your collected recyclables aren't being trashed. I'm going to click on Boston because that's where I live and I know the shape. And what comes up is the profile for the MRF. And we wanted to add this in order to give the tool a little bit more substance. We recently updated the data behind this tool with the information from your recycling and solid waste surveys and with help from our wonderful municipal assistance coordinators, aka the MACs. This page can be shared in social posts or other communications with its link, and we encourage that because a lot of residents don't know what happens to its recyclables after they're collected. And the MRF video lives on the bottom of the page, so you can also share this link. It's a really great visual to explain what happens at a MRF. And so last but not least, it's Beyond the Bin. Beyond the Bin is actually celebrating 2 years this month, and it has come a long way since we first launched it. This tool is a search directory that connects residents with outlets nearby where they can take items that are too good to trash, but can't be recycled through their home recycling. And by this, I mean items like clothing, furniture, appliances, and more. Residents can select a material category from this dropdown, and if they're not sure what to search for, they can actually check out the glossary below, in which we give a little more information as to what we mean by furniture, for example. And so I'm just going to do a search quickly to show how it works, but I'm going to choose clothing. You're going to enter the location into this box, so I'm just going to put my zip code. And then you can choose the radius of where you want to search. So I'm going to leave it at 10 miles and then click search. What comes up next is the search results page. It shows the outlets within the radius of the zip code or the address that you put. So in this case, it's showing outlets within 10 miles of 02135. To see the closest places first on the list, we're going to click sort by distance. And that's important because it's going to show in order the closest one. So if I had put an address, it would show whatever was closest to that address first. The page also lists how many listings come up in the search. So 348 results found, and it's showing 30 of them. So that just means if you scroll to the bottom, there's none of these options work for you for whatever reason. There are multiple pages you can click and find another option. I'm just going to click in to one of these. This is what the listing looks like. So it has the name of the place, and we put the contact info right on top because it's super important. Whenever we talk about Beyond the Bin, and we have it here on the listing too, we try to tell people to always call ahead, confirm that they're open, confirm the items that are accepted, confirm that they take whatever condition your items might be in. And it's important to always contact them first because things could have changed and the updates just haven't made it to Beyond the Bin yet. So I'm going to go back out to the home page. Beyond the Bin can be used in the recycling dividends program to get points in 2 places. So first, I had mentioned this before within waste prevention, outreach, and education. If you embed the Recyclopedia widget, add a link to the main Recycle Smart webpage, and a link to this specific Beyond the Bin webpage, you can claim an activity in waste prevention. New this year in the spring 24 grant application period was the requirement for the Center for Hard to Recycle Materials, or CHARM, where I just wanted to take a moment and thank the cities and towns that embraced this change and were so patient and willing to add your CHARM sites to Beyond the Bin. So thank you so much. So under CHARM, we required that your CHARM site be listed on Beyond the Bin for you to get those points. We asked that you add your locations with this add a listing tool. When we launched in 2022, we had about 35 listings that were municipal locations. Today, we have 252. And that is such an important number because it makes it so much easier for residents that are already using Beyond the Bin, already on the website, to find your outlets that they may not have even known existed. With Beyond the Bin steadily getting the most page views, which was 57,000 in September, we know that many are now finding outlets they need and keeping a lot of things out of the trash. Beyond the Bin has over 2,300 listings in it. Most of those are textile listings that have come from a few major textile vendors in the state. Our directory is going to continue to grow and improve, but I think it's at a good place right now for a lot of the common items people are trying to get rid of, like clothing. It's a great resource to not only share on your website for RDP credit, but share to social media and other communications to let residents know that they can find an option for items that they feel bad trashing. So that was the website tour. I know that was a lot. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm just going to go back to my slides now. I think I might have to reshare. 1 second. Okay, Janice. Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, so that is what I've got. I included this link here. It's a link to our partner page in case you want to check if you're a partner. And if you're not a partner, you can sign up on the same page. I've also included our main link, which is recyclesmartma.org. And I included our social media tag if you want to follow us, RecycleSmartMA on Facebook, Instagram, and X. So I'll leave this up for a minute, but this is pretty much what I've got. I've gotten through all of our resources and all of the updates, and I think we are ready for our Q&A. I've included the Recycle Smart main email address here, as well as my own. If you have any questions after, please feel free to reach out. We would be happy to talk to you more about how you can use these resources in your program. So thank you. And questions?
We got some questions.
Okay.
Somebody wanted to know, somebody made a comment that it would be beneficial if the social media images could be emailed. And so Kat did address this, but I'll just repeat it, that if there's a graphic that you're interested in, email us and we can send you the file for that. If or you can find it on the social media channels and share it that way. But if you want the raw thing, you can just email us. How much do you pay the influencers? So that is dependent on how many followers an influencer has. So we, I think there's like nano, micro, mini, regular. It's just like there's all these grades. And so I think one of them was a nano, and I want to say we paid her 300,
250, I think.
250.
Yeah.
And she did not have a giant reach, but it was a pilot. We were just seeing what could happen. And then the other one we paid about 700, I want to say. And she had far more followers and now has even more followers. So her prices have gone up, but she is the one who gave us like kind of the most bang for our buck. So I would say, it kind of depends on the size of the following, but that seems like a, reasonable range to us, 200 to 1,000. And then it also depends on like what you get. So we're getting more than just one reel out of our partnership with her. So it's kind of a complicated thing, but we are not the ones who kind of drive that. We have ERGR consultants, and they know how to find influencers, vet them for us, and make these contracts. So the next question, do you know if it's possible to embed the Recyclopedia directly into a newsletter sent out through a platform like Constant Contact? I said no. Kat, do you agree?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. I'm not going to read the next one. Basically, somebody asked if MassDEP could help update, or on a one-on-one basis, help a town update their webpage. And while that would be super fun, we don't have the time to do that, but your municipal assistance coordinator might. It could be a technical assistance grant. So you should just talk directly to your MAC about the possibility for that. This one, Kat, I'm not sure. Would the roadmap be able to be used as a link on Muni websites? I said probably need to just link directly to the Where Does It Go page. I don't think you can link to that graphic.
No, you can. So it's not like the Recyclopedia, you can't embed it, definitely, but you can link to the page. And sometimes when you see if I can do it, can you see the website now or no? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the page, it is the first thing there, so it's kind of easy to see, but sometimes you could do like a highlight and say copy to highlight. And then when someone uses that link, it would come right there. And so that might be the easiest way to just get directly to the page, or to the tool, I should say.
So that way when they go to the link, it goes directly to that section of the page.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of like an anchor. So somebody asked, I had written down your note about sharing at least 6 posts on your social media channels and signing up to be a partner for a chance to earn RDP points. And so someone said, will we still be eligible for the points if we don't directly use the resources from Recycle Smart? In Worcester, we often take the information provided from Recycle Smart and make our own graphics to fit our branding.
That's a great question. And I think this is a new activity we're adding for next year. So we haven't had the conversation on how we're going to evaluate it just yet. The point of adding this in was to get cities and towns and our partners to start using our content because we're curating it so it's easy to use. And I think we would lean towards no, like it would have to have the Recycle Smart branding to lead back to us. That's how I feel right now. Janice, if you have any other thoughts on that.
I think I would need to see the example. It might be one of those things, because, you know, a lot of communities use the Springfield MRF, and we wouldn't, and that like is an equivalent to Recycle Smart if you use the information for the Springfield MRF, because that's a dual stream MRF. And we say, just choose one. Like, if you're gonna use Springfield MRF, use Springfield MRF. If you're gonna use Recycle Smart, use that. Like, it doesn't matter to me, but choose one so as not to be confusing. But let's talk, Miranda, if you wanna send us something as an example, I'd be happy to check it out.
I think,
Um,
sorry, one more thought on that. We wanted to include this also as a way to make it sort of easy for people to share our stuff and get started on social. So if you have, I guess, the opportunity to create your own content, it's more for those who don't have the time to create their own content and only have the time to sort of reshare our stuff because it's there, it's already created, so.
this is a suggestion. It would be great if the roadmap could expand to include hard to recycle materials. For example, what happens when a mattress is recycled, or textiles, or when you send off batteries to be recycled. Can you go back to the roadmap page, or just kind of want to show? So the roadmap is just the map that a product takes. It doesn't get into specifics about most things. That would be lovely if we could break down. I think we in recycling, we do show a couple of examples of different kinds of things that happen, but I don't think the point of the roadmap is to go down into that kind of level of detail for specific materials. That said, that is definitely a newsletter topic that we could dive deeper into. And if we haven't already, both of those are great subjects. I know we have for textiles. I don't know if we have for mattresses. You'd have to search, Kat.
I don't think so. We have the waistband newsletter, but I don't think it goes like very deep into the process after.
Yeah, we should. I mean, that would be fun. I think we've thought about it many times, but just like falls
Also,
off the list.
a plug on the batteries. We are actually hosting a batteries webinar next week as part of Recyclepalooza, which we might learn about what happens when batteries are recycled. So if you've not registered for Recyclepalooza yet, please do so. It is one of the newsletters that you can get to on our page with all the registration links. And one of them is specifically about batteries because it's so important to learn more about, I'm past it. Learn more about those and what happens.
Yeah, and how to identify them. Another question, would it be possible to add black, dark colored plastic to the list of non-recyclable items? It is on that. It's in the Recyclopedia under black plastic. So if that's what you were talking about, we do have it under as no. So is there an outline guideline documents to the steps to earn points? Yes, the guidelines for RDP.
So the guidelines for spring 24, the grant application period that closed earlier this year, are still available on the RDP website. The guidelines for spring 25 have yet to be released yet, but we would be sending an email out to recycling contacts when that is out.
Okay. Is there a way to tailor the Recyclopedia to your specific town? For example, if you look at toothpaste, yours says to trash it, but I collect and give it to TerraCycle. If you want to tailor your own Recyclopedia, you will need to pay for your own Recyclopedia. So we don't, I mean, there's no possible way for the widget to branch off into 351 different lists unless the community pays for it, and you can use your RDP money to do that. So you mentioned that influencers allow us to reach people who maybe wouldn't normally be exposed to recycling content. What kinds of influencers do you use in terms of the topics audience they typically have? And have you seen any correlation between their typical content and greater success reaching your audience?
It's a great question. I like that question. I'll take a stab at it. Yeah. So when we started our influencer process, we basically looked for people who had a couple thousand followers that are in New England or Massachusetts. And we looked for a variety of topics because we wanted to try to hit the audience that was outside of like the sustainability minded folks that already follow us. And so while we had some that we wanted to pursue, it was trying to find a way to meet the niche like way that they post and their tone that they post, and find a topic within recycling or waste reduction that would match that. And so we couldn't go like too far off. And so the influencers we worked with, one of them posts about day trips, right? I think you can take in New England. And so they ended up posting about how to take a sustainable day trip and use the recyclopedia for, you know, the food items or the packaging, I should say, that you got during that trip. And then the other one, she posts about like things or activities or places you could go with your kids. And so it was more family oriented to their audience to get our message out to their audience. And they posted about visiting a library of things with their kids, finding a bunch of the cool things that you can use and reuse there, like board games and baking pans. And we'd like to expand past that, but it's like finding a way to fit our message into whatever specific content they create. We have to be mindful of that. Yeah, that's all I got.
So to go back to the black plastic question, she was referring to the Smart Recycling Guide.
Okay.
Can you go back to the Smart Recycling Guide? I just want to make a point here, please. So the Smart Recycling Guide lists the top no's, and this all came from, I don't know if you guys remember the Recycling IQ kit. We did a survey with all the MRFs to ask them, like, what are the top contaminants that really are a problem at the MRF? And that is why we focus specifically on these things. They are the things that cause the MRF to shut down, are risky for the workers. The intention is not to be comprehensive in this. We are with the yeses for the most part, but that's not the point for the no's, because literally everything that is a yes is listed, save like a couple of things. Everything else is trash. So, I mean, the list would go on and on if we were to do that. The other thing I want to point out about black plastic is that it is not a top contaminant. The MRFs don't really care if they get black plastic. Our point is just so that people know that if you put black plastic in there, don't expect it to get recycled, because it won't be. So part of this is just transparency. And like, we used to say you could put all these things in there and it was like a roll of the dice about whether or not that would be recycled. We're saying these things we know have a market. These things the MRFs can process and they want. So these are the yeses. Everything else, unless they say it's a yes, is a no. So I guess that's what I would say about black plastic. I know it's a big conversation. People feel really bad about putting it in the trash. It is an unfortunate thing right now, that so many restaurants use black plastic, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not even a very large portion of the recycled content that goes to the MRF. But we have done social media posts about black plastic. So if you like go to our Facebook page and you search in our posts for black plastic, you can find some that you can share if it's something that you want to highlight in your community. And then, hang on. There was another one I missed. So is there a list of searchable items on the Recyclopedia that can be shared? We have about 500 items. Yes, we can definitely share it. I will say this, it is not easy to then put that in your own wizard unless they're going to work with you to do that, especially now that Routeware took over Recollect. So you can manually enter whatever you want, and you can certainly have any of our images that you want that we created, not that come from Routeware. But if you do want that list, just send us an email and we can work with you. Claire asked, oh, you answered it. Sorry about the
Yeah.
RDP. I wish we knew. Yeah, sorry, Claire.
Um,
Sorry to all of you. Recyclopedia question, could you add a note to certain items like toothpaste tubes that residents should check their municipal website for special collections, like we have special collections for EPS foam, rigid plastic string lights, etc.? Sure. Yeah, that's fine, but we remember to do that for everything. And also, it's such a niche thing. Sometimes it's like, is it really worth it? But if you guys have a special collection and you're really all about it, you should also put it on your website. String lights, we do have, we do list special collections for those. Some towns are beginning to ban black plastics, like takeout containers, and encouraging aluminum and white containers instead. Well, that's cool. We get a lot of questions about that on social media, so if your town is banning it, let me know. We can say, ask the town of, Winthrop, and see how they did it, because we would love to share that information. Does anybody want to unmute themselves and ask a question, or do you want to do the last poll?
Oh, yeah, let's do that now.
Do the last poll.
How likely are you to use Recycle Smart resources and content after this meeting? Love that still on the fence and not likely are zeros. Yay. Awesome. Okay, this is great. Yay. And if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to us. We would love to help. I can't wait to get started. It's such a good answer. And the likely, whatever, both make me happy. What can I say?
We try to make it easy. Is there anybody that wanted to ask any questions before we let you go? Do you want to call it?
Yeah, give you an extra 5 minutes back to your afternoons. Thank
Thank you
you
for joining
so
us.
much for joining us. Yeah. Bye, everyone.